I love flank steak. I love flank steak, everyone. Juicy and delicious. It's impressive enough to feel like you've gone out, but it's very simple to make at home. Maybe better than a restaurant. Hi everyone, today I'm showing you how to make flank steak with a miso and black pepper pan sauce with roasted potato wedges. Yum. So this recipe came to me, it's inspired by a classic steak au poivre, which is like a French sort of like bistro dish of steak with a creamy pan sauce. I think of this as like a dish I'd make if I was thinking of going out, but I was really happy at home. It feels really fancy, it feels like you're eating something out, but it's actually incredibly simple to make. The cut that I'm choosing to cook this with is flank steak. Flank steak is actually perfect for this kind of sauce because it itself is really lean and the sauce is quite rich, so together they balance perfectly. The thing that's gonna take the longest here is the potato wedges, so let's get those going first. Potato time. Let's cook our potatoes. So I've got some peeled potatoes here. These are gonna become our wedges. So I'm gonna cut them into wedges, get them into cold water. I always start potatoes in cold water. You start with potatoes in cold water so that they cook from the outside in. If you drop them into boiling water, the outside is gonna cook much faster than the center. So the outside might start getting really like shaggy and falling apart before the inside is cooked. Just give that a bit of salt, bring that to a simmer, and then we'll cook them till they're just tender. Drain them, get them in the oven. Whenever I'm cooking a steak, I like to take it out so it comes to room temperature before I cook it. It just means it's gonna cook a little bit more from the outside in. You're not gonna be dealing with like a raw center while the outside is like brown and cooked. Season it up ahead of time. Because this is steak au poivre, we are gonna go quite heavy with the black pepper on top. Almost make it like a crust. Do that on the other side. All right, let's get our pan nice and hot. While that pan is preheating, just gonna dice up some shallot. This is gonna be going into the sauce. So the sauce is gonna be made in the same pan that we cook the steak in. So we cook that till it's perfectly done, take it out, build the sauce in the pan. It all happens really quick. So a good way to tell if your pan is super hot is just add a little splash of water. If it immediately evaporates, it's ready. Okay, nice slick of oil in the bottom of the pan. So I find flank steak to be a super consistent cut. Every time I buy it, it's about the same. I'd say that's about 800 grams to a kilo, so that would feed like quite a few adults, maybe a few kids as well. But it's really affordable, it's really versatile. A flank steak also really loves a marinade, so you could also go that route with it. There's loads of different things you could do. It'd be great like thinly sliced in like a Thai noodle salad, that kind of thing. I use it a lot in several different ways at home. It's so delicious, you can smell the black pepper. It's almost like the pepper's toasting in that pan along with the steak. It really brings out the flavor. Like pepper, I think, is something that we just use like kind of across the board on everything, and you forget that it actually has such a wonderful, spicy, warming flavor. Yep. Beautiful. The other thing about a flank steak that you really want to be mindful of, and really any steak actually, is that when it comes out, when you think it's done, it's going to carry over cooking a little bit, and it's really important to let it rest. For my rule of thumb is usually about half as long as it took to cook it. So if this is going to take us like about maybe 8 to 10 minutes total, could be a touch less, I'd probably want to rest it for about 5 minutes before I slice it. I always rest steaks uncovered because to me, when you put like a piece of foil over it, it's just going to create some steam, so that beautiful like crust that we're creating on the outside just gets kind of soft. So I let it cool just on my bench at room temperature. All right, so this is a little like chef-y technique for adding maximum flavor to steaks, especially when you're doing them in the pan like this. Just to add in a bit of butter and some herbs and some garlic cloves in the skin is fine. It's just gonna create this delicious basting liquid that I'll just spoon onto the steak. So I'm not one of those people that believes that you should only flip a steak once. I actually think you should flip it a couple of times. The reason being is that first side when it goes in the pan is quite cold. By the time you flip it, that second side has a little bit of warmth to it. So I just like to put it back on that first side for the last couple minutes. And to me, that just gives you the perfect doneness. So when you're trying to assess whether or not your steak is finished, I always like to, on the thickest side, give it a little poke. And if you're feeling some resistance and like it's bouncing back, then you're probably at like a medium doneness, which is what I really want in this steak. So to me, that's perfect. I'm gonna take it out of the pan now and let it rest. Take out that garlic and thyme. Rest that on top as well. Okay, so I've just turned off the heat of the pan now because I don't want it to go too far, because now that's where we're gonna build a lot of our flavor. I like a wooden spoon to kind of use to scrape off those delicious brown bits and all that black pepper. Gonna add in some shallots to soften them a bit. Oh, I love that smell. A little bit of Dijon mustard, the miso, and some white wine. Another reason why you might want to turn off the pan so it doesn't flare up on you. Next step, a bit of cream. This is obviously where that richness comes from. I'm gonna get the heat back on again. There's so much depth of flavor in this from all of those drippings in the pan, a lot of that black pepper, the miso. It's gonna make this incredibly umami. Miso is salty, so I'm just gonna give it a tiny pinch of salt. Let's just give it a little taste. Whoa, that is so good. Oh my God, so much flavor. I'm gonna give that a little bit of lemon just to cut through some of that richness. Incredible. That is so good. All right, so now our steak is resting, our sauce is made. I'm gonna drain these potatoes and get them in the oven. My gosh, look at these potatoes. Crunchy from the oven. You can actually hear that. No deep frying needed. I'm just gonna put those to the side for a minute while I mince up a little garlic and rosemary to sprinkle on top of them. I like to do this while they're still hot so that the garlic gets a little bit cooked. It's not totally raw. You wouldn't want to add the garlic and rosemary at the beginning because that would just burn them. Those potatoes are taking anywhere between like 30 to 40 minutes to get nice and crispy, and that would just be way too long for garlic and rosemary. Strip the rosemary down off the stem. Oh my God, I'm salivating. This looks so good. What a delicious meal. All right, so while those are still hot, go in with our garlic and rosemary. Oh, that smells so good when that garlic hits the hot pan. Gorgeous. I think we're ready to eat. Just get our steak. We're gonna slice that now. You'll see in a flank steak that it's quite obvious which way the grain is running, that way. You wanna cut against the grain for tenderness. Always cutting against the grain on steaks, anything. When you're chewing it, it'll come off as being more tender in texture. So that is just beautifully juicy and pink on the inside. You'll notice sometimes that steak has a variation and that sometimes it's a little more red, sometimes it's a little more pink. That has to do with like the diet of the animal, and that's just a natural variation, but it's still gonna be, I'm gonna sneak a piece. Juicy and delicious. Tom, you want a little piece?
Ooh, absolutely.
Try that delicious, like burriness. So yummy. Good.
Oh, so good.
Just get that onto our plate. And with some delicious potatoes. That just looks so incredible to me. This is so perfect for those cold winter nights where you're maybe thinking about going out, but you're ready in your sweatpants and you don't want to leave the house and you're feeling cozy. I think that is a perfect meal. It's impressive enough to feel like you've gone out, but it's very simple to make at home. It's incredible. Maybe better than a restaurant. So much depth of flavor. I think that miso really does so much to make this feel like a sauce that's been simmering with beef stock all day. But really, we've just made it in a few minutes in the pan. I think you should give it a try.